This is the inside of my stun gun. It's a very simple setup. A 505 oscillator circuit. This drives a transformer, which is a mains transformer in reverse. This is rectified by these 4 diodes, bridge rectifier circuit, and it charges. It's 2 capacitors. They're a bit difficult to see because they're wedged underneath to save space. They're 2 4.7 microfarad capacitors with 450 volt ratings. They're put in series to give a 900 volt rating, and the capacitance is half to 2.35. And SCR down there is set up to release that load when it reaches 800 volt into this ignition coil. Actually, I can't remember where it's from, but yeah. And it's dumped into the primary terminals, which are underneath there. And you have the 2 prongs out here. Now, I'm not totally sure, but I think these prongs are set up in an anti-parallel position, so the voltage you get between the 2 would be double what you would get off a standard ignition coil with 1 HT lead off it. Right. The blue tack is for insulation because the ring around the outside acts as a ground and the sparks jump down to it. But however, it doesn't provide that much insulation since it just tracks right across it, and the blue tack's pretty weak insulator at around 80,000 volts anyway. And this is all powered by a homemade battery pack, which is just 12 AAA's rechargeable batteries, all set up in series to give 14.4 volt, just taped up with masking tape. You can see, there we are. It's a really simple setup. You have 2 diodes. This is just to stop the back charge you get when you dump a load into it. It will provide a voltage back on the capacitors in the reverse polarity and damage them, so the diodes is just to take the voltage away, let the current flow from this thing that's set up in a reverse bias itself. And here's the lid, very simple. It has a charge socket and a safety socket, which is a jack socket, and a main switch. The jack socket is a simple mono jack with the ends shorted out together, so it completes the circuit by one end on there and it flows through back out here when this is inserted in there. So the circuit's broken when the jack socket's not inserted. This acts as a safety device, plus this switch is really loose and easy to press. So give it a minute, I'll put the lid back on. It is a fairly big device itself. It's made from a power supply unit box, but as you can see, the ignition coil itself is fairly large, so it's not that easy to make small. However, I'm working on it by using a smaller battery pack of some sort. However, this thing is quite hefty on current, takes about 2 amp, so any smaller size batteries will go pretty quickly. At the moment I can get about 10 minutes worth of play off this. So if we stick the jack socket in, I can show you it working. As you can see, it tracks to the sides a lot due to the fact that there's not much insulation. And I'll just show you on a piece of metal like a door handle or something, just a metal handle. You can see him tracking down to the metal very easily. Right, and that is my homemade stun gun. I haven't yet tried it on anyone, but I have had a zap off it myself in the making. It's pretty painful. I'm working on improving the size and the power consumption, make it slightly more efficient, so I can get maybe a higher spark rate for around about the same power consumption, because it's fairly big at the moment and it does take quite a lot of power. So that transistor inside does get pretty hot, so you can't hold it on for too long. Anyway, my homemade stun gun.